How's it going, guys? So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my Vader shared pipe stunt. This hilt was in A New Hope. It started as Luke's pipe stunt in Obi-Wan's hut when Obi-Wan gives Luke his father's lightsaber. It's the hero prop in the box, and when he hands it to him, it's the hero prop. But when he ignites it, it's the Luke pipe stunt. And that's where the Luke pipe stunt was used. Now, later in filming the Vader Obi-Wan duel, Vader had his square shroud, motorized stunt. And he also, there's pictures of him using Luke's pipe stunt, aka the shared pipe stunt, which when Vader used it. And there's some key differences we'll be going over today. I'll be showcasing the vintage parts that was used, and I'll be showing you guys accuracy details and where I got this hilt from. So this is a kit from Supergreenprops. This I reached out to him last year about it, and I guess you can consider me the one that kind of, he made everything on the project, but I kind of showed some interest in it, and he actually said, yeah, I want to do it. So I was like, dude, that's awesome, because no one made this kit publicly. There's a few versions, but no one actually made it obtainable to get, I could say, because I tried finding one and I couldn't. So I'm kind of like, I can't do this myself. But anyway, so yeah, it's the Supergreenprops Luke pipe stunt kit. And this is the motorized version, which he did everything. He did everything on this kit. I did the vintage parts I added on, but he did, the motorized part. He did the hilt and everything that came with it. So, yeah, so let's get started now. Like I said, this is Vader's version, so it's going to be a little bit different than Luke's version, which I had Luke's version. I bought two kits from Supergreenprops, and since my collection's going towards more of a Vader theme, I dressed up the Vader and I sold my Luke version. But unfortunately, you can't get these anymore off the site. They're sold out. So if you wanted to get one, you'd have to just look around in the Facebook groups to see it, or the RPF, to see if someone was selling one of their kits. But this is a pretty limited run, so I don't think many people would be selling them. But anyway, so let's get started, guys. So one of the key, okay, let's start from the top, I'm sorry. So if you haven't checked out my Vader square shroud, go check out the video, because it's awesome. No, but I go over that version of Vader's motorized stunt. So go check that out as well if you can, please. That'd be awesome. So with that being said, I had this is a Hall's number 3 rod off of Obi-Wan's saber. This actually, the full length got cut into 2 pieces, and I used the one on my Vader square shroud and one on the shared pipe stunt. So you can see, the nice rust and patina that the rod had naturally. And yeah, so it's not confirmed that this is the part that was used. It could have just been a steel rod, but it just goes in theme with the vintage parts on the prop, and I just thought it was pretty cool to add a vintage grenade rod from the Obi-Wan saber. So yeah, I had a friend do the vinyl here on the prop as it was in the film, and this is just dance floor material vinyl that was used, and you can see it was cut nice, and it was a really good job on it. So that's one of the things that they did for Vader's when Vader used this stunt. They did the electrical tape, kind of simulating Vader's MPP with the black shroud. And yeah, so then stepping down from the tip of the hilt, this is a thin knurled Fulmer button. And the reason I chose this one, because there's some patina and some wear on it. I figured that goes in theme very nice, because this hilt was, used in production. It wasn't, I'm sure parts weren't really shiny on it. And yeah, so that's it's a thin knurled Fulmer red button, as well as a Fulmer beer tab, and that just is screwed into place, and as well the Fulmer tab is just held in by the button. And coming from that, You have a Fulmer glass eye. And I was told this is the style eye to go with based on reference material. And I believe this is a later Fulmer eye, if I'm not mistaken. But I was told by a friend in the prop community that it was a late Fulmer used based on the photos. And as you can see the finish, I knocked down with some steel wool because I'm sure it wasn't shiny in the movie. And I just wanted to knock it down, kind of weather it, especially since Luke used it and Vader was using it as well. So it has some more of a scratched up finish on it. And stepping down from the finish on the hilt, you can see I have a Fulmer, early Fulmer clamp. And I believe we're not sure that it was a Fulmer, but I went with a Fulmer. And, you know, there was some rust and patina on the clamp, but I tried to fix it, but it kind of gives it some nice wear. I wasn't too worried about a little bit of rust on it, and I fixed. And then you can see the Fulmer lever with the smaller pin. And then this is a vintage Exactor 20 bubble strip that I cut down myself. And a little bit of rust there. And yeah, so with this, I had to cut the notches out of the clamp to fit on the pipe because this was literally just a pipe tube that they cut an angle to make it look like the Graflex, and they put electronic parts in it. So there's nothing Graflex about this, but it's just a pipe with some Graflex parts on it, mostly Fulmer it seems. And then stepping down from that, this is a vintage button. This is off the Anita calculator, and it's not confirmed that this is the exact button used, but this is actually the button out of the same calculator that Obi-Wan's transistors are out of. So it's not confirmed that this is the actual button, but it looks very similar, and it's also a vintage found part, so I'm really happy about that. So, and then stepping down from the button, you have these grips that I hand laid myself without a grip guide or anything. And I cut the area how it was on the prop where the button laid in between the grips. They notched it like that. And these aren't angled grips. These are just regular grips. And on Luke's version, there's a grip here, but on Vader's, it is missing based on the promo and all the photos. So this grip is missing. That's why there's a weird space in between. But yeah, all these grips are laid as they would be based on some reference material. Like you can see, this one is very raised up based off the other one. So that's a noticeable difference for sure. And then just hand cut these myself and put them on with E6000. And then you can see here that hole is just where the wire went through, obviously. And then stepping down from the grips, you have the knurled bottom, and it has specific knurling to it. And then this is a threaded end cap there, simulating the prop. You can see the grips there, how I laid them based on reference material. But yeah, so I really like this kit. It was a must since I'm going with the A New Hope props. I love the motorized stunts as well as all the Vader hilts. So I definitely had to go with the Vader option. Like I said, I did all this myself in terms of adding the parts. Matthew did all the rest in terms of installing the internal components to make it motorized. And other than when I received it, I actually pulled it apart so I can put the Hall's rod in and put it back together. So it wasn't too bad. Just like Vader's square shroud, there is a set screw behind the clamp. And there's also a set screw here holding this bearing up top, the collar, or I'm sorry, the bushing. And yeah, so I have my battery pack right here. I will plug it in and turn it on for you. And this motor matches my square shroud Vader at 400 RPMs. So let me just get it plugged in for you guys, and I'll turn it on. The battery pack plugged in, it's on the on position. So now all you do is push this button in, and then you see the shaft spin, just very similar to the Vader square shroud with that nice vintage rod. Let you hear it. Very cool. I love the motorized stunts. And then also, I forgot to show this. So these connectors are very similar to the prop, because if you actually, I watched A New Hope last night because I love A New Hope, but when you look in Luke's sleeve, you see these same white and red connectors. So it's accurate to the film. And this is the same thing on my Vader because it's the same wiring kit from Supergreenprops that he did for me. So it's the same connectors. I'll turn that off for you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to make a video of this because I realized I didn't. So I'm really glad I was able to do this upload for you guys today. Now, stay tuned for later uploads because I have something very special coming in. You guys are just going to have to stay tuned for that. It's Vader A New Hope themed, if that gives you any context. But I'm still waiting on my Highland flash to come in. I'm going to be taking the core out of it and putting it in my Roman Props MPP. And that hilt is going to be fitted with a V2 vintage card out of it's actually a Texas Instruments TI 2000, which is the same as the Exactor 20. But it's a teal V2 card I'll be adding to the Roman Props MPP, as well as a vintage cord out of the Highland 3-cell, because it's identical to the MPP flash core. So that'd be cool. I'm going to be converting that over to the Roman Props. It's going to be static, obviously. But just a few vintage bits on it, just because I can't swing a small B port V2 right now, a V2 version MPP. So that will be on the shelf, but there's something in the works. Let's just say that. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned. You know, drop a like, comment if you have any questions on the specific prop. And I hope you guys stay tuned for later uploads, because I'm going to start uploading more in theme with A New Hope and especially Vader. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and take care.